It's Wednesday, the 21st of February, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes, and today they're 5 big stories, so we better get cracking. Story number 1, ANZ has won its $4.9 billion bid for Suncorp, with the Australian Competition Tribunal overturning regulatory concerns about the deal potentially hurting competition.
It's been a long, drawn-out saga taking almost 2 years, and the green light means ANZ will absorb Queensland-based Suncorp's home loans, which total about $67 billion. Now, last year, the ACCC ruled against the deal, saying it could further entrench an oligopoly, lead to reduced competition. ANZ boss Shane Elliott's take has always been that with Commonwealth Bank such a major player, a beefed-up ANZ will actually help the Melbourne-based bank compete. And the tribunal seems to agree. Certainly ANZ's been much more competitive in home lending in recent times. This should help. For its part, Suncorp will now continue as an insurer. Of course, it owns the brands Amy and GIO. Yesterday, ANZ's share price closed down 2.2%. Suncorp was up nearly 6%. That tells you who investors think got the best part of this deal.
And just quickly, Sean, what's it mean, I suppose, more broadly for the banking sector and then for customers as well?
Well, the Competition Tribunal said while the big four banks have 72% share of the mortgage market, the competitive environment in Australia has changed, will change some more. A couple of examples given were the rise of Macquarie as a home lender and the fact that about 2/3 of home loans now go through a mortgage broker. For other regionals like Bank of Queensland and Bendigo, basically it opens the door for them to be bought out. Maybe it gives them more of a shot in the home loan market with one less competitor. For customers, there is no doubt there is more competition in the market, and that is a good thing.
Okay, on to story number 2 now. And Australia is set to buy 11 new general-purpose frigates, giving the Royal Australian Navy greater firepower and more strategic options in the face of really rising geopolitical tensions in the region.
A review of the Navy released yesterday will see the number of the Navy's major surface combatants eventually rise from 11 to 20, in addition to 6 new optionally crewed surface vessels, aka drone ships, armed with missiles to support the main fleet. The Navy will be based around the 11 general-purpose frigates and the drone ships. The new fleet will be built both overseas and locally to replace the ageing Anzac frigates, and the build will be fast-tracked to address the risk presented by an ageing and increasingly fragile surface combatant fleet. That's what it says. Defence Minister Richard Marles said $11 billion will be spent over the next decade building the ships. He said the review will ultimately create the country's largest naval fleet since World War II.
On to story number 3 now, Sean, and of course it's reporting season. We've got ASX-listed companies all reporting their half-year results, and they don't get much bigger than BHP, which has posted its lowest profit in 8 years after it cut the value of its struggling Australian nickel and Brazilian iron ore assets.
That's the bottom line, which includes a bunch of write-downs. The underlying profit for the December half of just over $10 billion is in line with last year, and BHP's share price fell about 1% yesterday. The good news for shareholders is that they'll receive a higher interim dividend, 72 US cents, than expected, though it's way below the 90 US cents 12 months ago, which was inflated by higher commodity prices. This half's payout is the lowest in 4 years. Now, the write-downs were announced last week, $2.5 billion US for the nickel division, $3.2 billion US related to the Samarco iron ore asset in Brazil following the tragic dam collapse of 2015. The iron ore mining operations in Western Australia, in the Pilbara region there, again was a standout, delivering 77% of underlying earnings. Chief Mike Henry said demand for commodities hadn't lived up to expectations over the past 6 months, but the long-term future still looks strong.
Story number 4, the Reserve Bank has kept all interest rate options on the table, saying the outlook for the economy this year remains finely balanced.
The minutes of the central bank's board meeting released yesterday show that members explicitly considered a rate rise and a rate cut 2 weeks ago before deciding to keep rates on hold. They were weighing up whether inflation proves to be more persistent versus the risk that consumer spending falls more sharply. On productivity, one of the missing pieces of the economic jigsaw puzzle, the board said it's too soon to determine the extent to which a fading COVID disruption and the adoption of artificial intelligence supports or otherwise a turnaround in productivity. Market economists and bond investors now expect a cut in the official cash rate towards the end of the year.
Finally, Sean, story number 5. How about this one? Donald Trump has been rated the worst US president ever by American political science experts.
Joe Biden debuted as the 14th greatest president of all time from a total of 46 presidents on a periodic presidential greatness survey. Now, Biden came in ahead of Ronald Reagan. The judges are the 154 members of the American Political Science Association. According to a report in The Australian, Biden's most important achievements may be that he rescued the presidency from Trump and resumed a more traditional style of presidential leadership, wrote the survey's authors. Donald Trump's position, last, and Abraham Lincoln's position, first, haven't changed since the survey was last published in 2018 during the midpoint of Mr. Trump's presidency. Franklin D. Roosevelt is second, George Washington third, Barack Obama came in seventh.
All right, that's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Wednesday, the 21st of February 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. If 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts, and find Fear and Greed online as well on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, X and Facebook. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.